Hello kids, I'm so glad you're here today. How are you? If you are doing great, then give me a thumbs up. Now, I hope that was all of you. But if you didn't give me a thumbs up, I hope the day turns around for you, okay? Well, our life app this month is peace. Peace is proving you care more about each other than winning an argument. When you make peace with someone, you show how much you care about them. And it's kind of like whatever conflict you're having, it separates you. So when you make peace, you're building a bridge so you can reconnect with them and make things right again. Our Bible lesson today comes from the book of Genesis, and it's about a man named Isaac. Now, before we get started, I want you to know that there's going to be some sound effects, so be sure to listen up for them, okay? Good. So, Isaac. He was the son of Abraham, and you probably remember because we've talked about Abraham before, but God made a very special promise to Abraham. God said that all nations on earth would be blessed through him and his family. And you know what? God made those same promises to Abraham's son Isaac. Let's read together and see what God told Isaac, okay? I will make your children after you, as many as the stars in the sky, and I will give them all these lands. All nations on earth will be blessed because of your children. Genesis 26:4. Now we're going to pick up the story when Isaac was an adult and living in the land of the Philistines. During that time, there was a famine in the land. And a famine means that there's not enough food for people to eat. And all over the country, there weren't enough crops for everyone to have food. But God blessed Isaac's crops. So Isaac and his family had food and water. The Philistines who lived nearby were jealous of Isaac, so they complained. Guess what else they did? They filled Isaac's wells with dirt. That is so mean. The king of the Philistines was named Abimelech. The king Abimelech told Isaac to leave because Isaac had become too powerful. But Isaac didn't get mad. He kept his cool, he did what the king asked, and he moved down to the valley of Gerar, where his father Abraham had lived many years before. Once they got to their new land, Isaac's men started digging in. They dug up Abraham's wells to open them again, and sure enough, they found water. But the Philistines started arguing and complaining again. The Philistines said that these new wells also belonged to them and that Isaac and his men had to leave. Again, Isaac decided to keep the peace and he and his men left. Then Isaac's men dug another well. And again, they found water. But guess what happened? Can you tell me by now? Yep. The Philistines argued about that well too. So Isaac moved on and dug yet another well. They found water. This time, the Philistines didn't argue with them. What a relief. One day, King Abimelech and a group of his advisors came to visit Isaac. So let's read together what they told Isaac, okay? We saw clearly that the Lord was with you. So we said there should be an agreement between us and you. We want to make a peace treaty with you. Give us your word that you won't harm us. We didn't harm you. We always treated you well. We sent you away peacefully. And now the Lord has blessed you. Genesis 26:28-29. Turns out the Philistines wanted to keep the peace too. They didn't want to fight over water anymore. And you know what Isaac did? He prepared a feast for the Philistines, and early the next morning, they made an agreement to keep the peace with each other. And who knows, maybe they even had some water to celebrate. Well, after that, the Philistines left. Now, it wasn't fair that the Philistines were so mean to Isaac, and it would have been really easy for Isaac to be mean right back. But instead, Isaac walked away. He chose to make peace. And because of that, the Philistines trusted him enough to make a peace treaty so they wouldn't have any more disagreements in the future. Also, the Philistines recognized God in his life. Isaac made the wise choice 3 times, even though it must have been difficult. And God blessed him with peace. Boys and girls, we can learn a lot from Isaac's story. So let's remember this. You can show others you care by walking away from a fight. If you're frustrated or mad and you're not sure you can walk away, stop and think for a minute. Pray and ask God to help you know how to respond in the moment, and then ask God to give you what you need to do exactly that. And don't forget, sometimes it is important to stand up for yourself. Peace doesn't mean that you have to be treated badly. So if you're in a tough situation, I want you to talk to a trusted grown-up about it to help you figure out how to process that and how to get through it. It was so great to be here with you today. Let's end with our memory verse, okay? So let us do all we can to live in peace, and let us work hard to build up one another. Romans 14:19.